So, Peggy, thank you very much for making time to share your insights into the future of leadership.
My pleasure. Thanks, Nick, for having me.
It's great to have you on the show, Peggy. And before we walk into the future, can you please tell us a little bit about your background? Where did you grow up?
Okay, I grew up in the north of South Africa, now called, what is it called today? Things have changed. It's the Great North. I used to live there before you have new African names.
Right. And what was your dream career when you grew up?
I wanted to be a lawyer. That was my dream, really dream career, because I thought as a lawyer you can defend people. That was my dream.
And tell me, Peggy, looking back over your career, you worked for some of the big corporates. You are a prominent leader today. Was there a turning point or maybe a number of turning points?
Okay, so when I came to Switzerland, I realized the opportunities because having grown up in South Africa, black and a girl, the opportunities were very limited. You could be a nurse, you could be an assistant, you could be a teacher. And I did nursing because I was black and a girl. And when I came to Switzerland, I realized the opportunities were incredible. And that was a huge turning point for me.
And tell us, Peggy, who inspired you in your early days?
I was inspired by my father. My father was really wonderful. He would tell me or tell all of us that we were the best. You know, every day he will tell us you are the best. And that is really something that made me strong and believe in myself. So that was my inspiration.
And today, Peggy, what is driving you? What is motivating you?
So what is motivating me after 40 years in Europe is to know that I can make a difference for young people in South Africa, to show them what is possible. Because based on my experience that I had to grow resilience to be able to live and work in Europe.
Now, Peggy, looking into the future, and I know it's a big question, but what does the future of leadership mean to you?
The future of leadership is really something big because now with AI and technology, people are focused on that. What I think is very important is soft skills. As a leader, you must be able to lead someone. You cannot lead just technology or AI. You must be able to lead other people. And you can only lead other people when in your heart, in your strength, you know and you believe that those people will be able to make a difference for other people as well.
So, Peggy, what is it we have to do more to develop and to build and encourage future leaders?
I think what one can do is, I would call it slow down, really take time for young people, make them realize life is not a car that you drive into a ditch, that, to be successful, they need to understand the importance of responsibility. Besides all these things that you can do, you can offer a lot of trainings because now one can work remotely. So, they can have all that training, but they need to understand that it starts with responsibility as a human being.
Now, Peggy, these are challenging times as the world stumbles from one crisis into the next. What is your advice for future leaders in terms of challenges? How should they tackle and hopefully overcome career challenges?
There's a lot of challenges today when you look at the global level. And I think South Africa has so many challenges that people should start to look at locally, but with a global lens, to say the education is in South Africa, but thinking of how you can use that education or that training globally. I think the challenge is that people think local and act local. So if you have your training, your education local, you should look towards the big world and realize that you make a difference without necessarily having to move there.
Now, Peggy, if you were to design a curriculum for future leaders, and maybe what is one subject that you would want to include and maybe teach?
I think for me, intercultural topics are very important because we are now so connected. It's something that people can have everything they want, but intercultural connectivity would be for me very important. meaning that if you're South African, you can work with people, let's say from Zimbabwe, with people from the UK, with people from Canada. And this is only possible if you understand how other cultures respond to your behavior or to your way of living.
Now, Peggy, as a mentor to many future leaders, can you maybe share a success story or two where you met an upcoming leader and that person took your advice to heart?
Thank you so much, Nick. I was thinking about this question very strongly. You know, I mentor and I coach people. And I've had a South African person who had a wonderful job in a pharmaceutical company. But when a new boss came, they couldn't get along and she was mobbed and she lost her job. And when she found a new job, she was so afraid that she needed coaching. And together we sat down and we discussed, you know, the situation, what has changed with the new job and how can she do the new job in such a way that she is confident, that she believes in what she's doing, that she can connect with people. And now today, when I look back, she has a fantastic big job. So I'm very happy about that. Another person was also, this time not a South African, but someone from Rwanda that struggled with speaking to people. She was a scientist from Rwanda and she was very shy. She knew her job, but she didn't know how to connect to people who come from other cultures. And together we worked and we practiced. And when I saw her at an event when she was talking to others, I was very proud.
Now, Peggy, looking back over your own leadership career, are there any role models of leadership who you have encountered and maybe worked with who you would recommend future leaders should study and learn from?
I think it's a difficult one because where I've worked there are no people that you can study, but I had fantastic leaders. I had a boss who came from Sweden, who was incredible. She had a totally different lens of looking at things, and she was very pushy and motivating that I felt that someone is giving me power, but is also giving me responsibility. And then I look at the company Roche where I worked for years. I've had incredible leaders, you know, people who want the best for you, and getting the best for you is the best for the company. So I cannot give you one name. I've worked with so many different leaders.
Now, Peggy, where can our listeners follow you and how should they connect with you?
The best thing if you want to connect with me is, you know, if you look at LinkedIn every Monday, I post something that is intercultural, that is very interesting for young people also to see how the world functions if you don't live in South Africa as a South African. So you can follow me on LinkedIn, but also on Instagram where I give, you know, little quotes that might be interesting for young people. And I have a website that says www.peggygrueninger.com. So these are different places where you can connect with me.
And last but not least, Peggy, what is your message to the millions of learners out there who are about to finish school later this year, enter the world of work? What are maybe one or two success principles that they should keep in mind?
I think it's a very good question, Nick. For young people who are completing school, it's very important for them to understand completing school doesn't mean you complete life. It means now you're stepping out into the big world where you have to be even more responsible and to understand the concept of money. That because you have your first salary, you cannot go and buy a car and drive into a ditch. You know, to try and understand the concept of money and your responsibility, but also for them to understand you can only give if you have enough. You know the South African situation that families expect from their children, but the children also have to learn that if they're going to grow their own lives and career, they have to look after their income.
Thank you. Peggy, thank you so much for sharing your leadership journey and your nuggets of wisdom and for inspiring so many future leaders.
Nick, I hope to make a difference. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.